What's up, everybody? It's Pete Jeffrey with Empty Quiver Taxidermy, where every hunt is a story. And today is episode 2 of the Empty Quiver Taxidermy podcast, and we're going to talk about this dude today. He is dubbed the Crazy Hornbuck, and I will put something right about here. Show you his horns. Yeah, something like that. I shot this deer 2 years ago. Uh, Early in our taxidermy stage, which is, we've only been doing this, I think this is our third year, something like that. And I had this deer on camera all summer, and obviously called him Crazy Horns because his horns are all kind of wild. Uh, he's got split brow tines, he's got points, crap coming off everywhere, and just a wild dude. And every time I got a picture of him, I was super excited. Get a deer like that, and every time you'd open your phone or check your camera, if he was on there, it's like Christmas. You get excited about that. He's also one of them deer I thought I'd never see in real life. Because I've had two other bucks that had weird horns that I hunted, never seen them. So this particular buck, let's jump from, you know, summertime, he's in velvet. Now we're in gun season, and it's doe weekend or whatever, doe days, whatever you want to call it down here in Florida. And I was sitting in this little tree stand that I built out of some conduit laying around that all my buddies, they made fun of me because it's only like 12 foot off the ground. And they're like, you ain't never going to shoot no deer out of deer. They're going to see you right there, blah, blah, blah. And I said, okay, that's cool. Probably not, but I hunted it anyway because that's where he was at, in this little swamp oak head. And he disappeared off the camera for a little bit like they always do. So it's doe weekend, and I'm sitting there having me a beverage when this doe feeds in. And that got me all excited. You know what I mean? Because there ain't nothing better than drilling a hole through an old doe. Old mature doe comes slipping in there, and she's feeding on the acorns around. She's coming to the corn pile, and I got a white knuckle grip on the Matthews. You know what I mean? I'm ready. I'm ready to start painting the leaves. But something told me, just hold on, chill out. So I sat there and watched her feed around. She kind of fed off to the right, went under this low hanging palmetto, and sitting there letting myself settle back down. And I'm kind of a peculiar person. I'm sitting there playing this little game in my mind. Started thinking about this deer. And as a grown man, I'm sitting there in the tree just thinking, I'm looking at different holes that's around me. And sitting there going, what if he's right there? What if he's right there? Well, look, he's right there. And I'm just doing this, entertaining myself. Because I'm a child. 40-year-old child. So this is going on as I'm kind of looking around real quick and picking out these holes when my attention goes back to where the doe left under that low hanging palmetto. I see legs coming in. I say, "Oh sister, you in trouble. You don't circle back around. You know what I mean? Not on doe weekend. You don't come back because you ain't gonna walk away twice without a hole up in you." So I'm already kind of getting my bow ready because I know at this point if it's her, I'm gonna give her the old white four. All of a sudden, his head comes out from under it, and I see his horns, and I am just flabbergasted. It's him, and he's walking straight to me. Uh, my body goes into shambles. This deer I've been wanting to see, never thought I'd see, and he's walking right to me. So my body just falls apart. I start shaking so bad that this little 12-foot ladder stand that I made, it's ratchet strapped to a 6 or 8 inch pine, and I had it tucked up next to a palmetto because I'm using the palms to kind of, that's my background. keep me camouflaged in there. Well, I'm shaking the pine tree. The pine tree shaking the palm tree, and everything's just is going crazy. I mean, the pine tree shaking the palm so hard it sounds like squirrels having UFC up in there, just rattling everywhere. Well, he comes into 13 yards, and by this time I'm shaking so much it spooks, and he jumps out. Now, about this time it's getting dark. You know what I mean? It's getting to where you can see him, but it's everything's getting low light. So for whatever reason, I'm already drew back, and in my mind this deer's 50 yards. I don't know why I did that. I ranged this area multiple times, and there's not a 50-yard shot in there. But for whatever reason, in that low light, my mind was racing. I put my 50-yard pin up, punched the trigger. The luminoc disappears from the time it leaves my bowstring to the time it reaches the deer. The luminoc just magically disappears. So I hear that whap, and I start shaking even harder because now I know I've hit this deer. I don't know where. So I don't know how good my shot is, but I know I heard that whap. But if you hunt it long enough, you know that whap, that's soft. That's usually belly or something. So I knew it wasn't good just by the sound of it. It wasn't that thwack of hitting bone or rib cage or shoulder. It was that soft belly skin whack. You know what I mean? So I call my wife automatically, tell her I shot Crazy Horn. Call my buddy Justin, Justin Voorhees. He said I'm on the way. So I get down, I go to look for my arrow. Sure enough, it's a pass through and there's guts all over it. So that's when I go into full breakdown mode. I don't do good when I wound a deer and I'm not sure of shot. It makes me sick. Like literally, I start jiheving, throwing up nothing, pacing around, drives my wife crazy. Unfortunately, this ain't the first deer it's ever happened to. So find gut, ease back to the truck, come back to the house, which is probably 3/4 of a mile from where I was hunting at the time. And sitting there, drinking beer, waiting for my buddy Justin. I'm just walking in and out the house, gagging over the porch, shaking. My buddy gets there. Took him about 30 minutes or so to get to the house, and then we waited another probably hour, hour and a half. So about 2 hours altogether, we let this deer lay. We loaded up my blood dog Bullet, and we loaded up his blood dog Barrett, which is my dog's son. And sure enough, we get there, we get on blood right away. And this dude comes out the swamp head, and he gets on the road that's going back to my other stand on the back corner of the property. And there's good blood. Then we get to that point, the corner of the property, and the dogs kind of lose what they're doing. So we put one dog up, bring another dog, swap them back out. Finally, we get Bullet, and Bullet gets on this trail. And we're tracking, and we're tracking. There'll be good blood, no blood. Good blood, no blood. And finally, we ended up in this overgrown field where everything's probably, neck high or so. And Bullet gets away from him. His leash slips out of my hand, he's gone. So we're sitting there, we're kind of looking around, and we hear Bullet bark. And the only time Bullet barks is when he finds a deer. So as soon as we heard that old Catahoula-looking thing yelp up, well, me and my buddy Justin, both of us started grinning so big you couldn't tell us nothing. I said, there he is. He's down, boy. He's down, old son. So we start running to Bullet. Sure enough, we get there, and the deer's laying on his side, and he's got his shoulder, or his chin's tucked on his shoulder, and he's just laying there. Bullet standing there barking at him. I said, good boy, Bullet. And I reached down to grab his horn. I get 8 inches from his horn. This deer jumps up, kicks up, damn near kicks me in the shins when he takes off and he peels out. In shock, I just kind of freeze. Deer hauls ass, Bullet's behind him. Me and Justin look at each other. We're like, what the hell just happened? So at this point, I don't know where we're at. So I take a knee, Justin takes a knee with me, and I pull up Google Maps. I'm trying to figure out what's going to be our fastest way out of here. We're in this big property. It's not a real big property. It's about 80 acres, 100 acres altogether. But there's only a couple roads around. So I found the closest road, dropped the pin, sent it to my wife. I said, meet us here in about 30 minutes. I told Justin, I said, man, we're just going to back out, leave this deer alone. Hopefully he stays in this field. We get bullet off of him. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll find him. No sooner than I said that, bullet barks again. We get a little spark in our eye, right? Here we go. We're trying to run through these wait a minute vines, this freaking just thick stuff. And we finally get there, and there's Bullet again with the deer. This time the the deer's laying on his belly, and he's looking all around, but his head's all, bobbing, weaving, like he's done had enough. That shot took a lot out of him. And, running from bullets through all that stuff, it just wore him down. So, we put him out of his misery quick and effectively. And then we had to figure out how to get him out of there. So we finally got him to the road. My wife met us, and I could not stop just hyperventilating and feeling sick until I got him home to the swinging post. Now the swinging post is my skinning station. It's a special apparatus that I built, so when I'm skinning deer by myself, it doesn't spin around. It's all on this pole system kind of thing. Maybe I'll show y'all that one day. But once I got him there, everything settled down. I finally got to look at him, and me and my buddy Justin got to sit there and drink a beer and just marvel at him, and the reality set in that I finally got this deer after seeing him on camera and thought he disappeared and somebody else killed him, and then him just showing up while I was just randomly acting like a child in the tree stand was pretty wild. And I think he might be the third deer that we mounted, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's the third deer that me and my wife mounted. And he turned out pretty good. He's got a couple flaws. His eyes are my least favorite part about him. His eyes are kind of crazy. I used the wrong color paint. They're a little too shiny, a little too glossy. Valuable lesson learned there. But his stitching and everything turned out perfect on this deer. His ears turned out wonderful. His nose turned out amazing. His eyes are the only thing that I regret about this deer. And my wife talked about going back and remounting him, but I can't do it. Those are flaws that taught us a lesson. So I'm going to keep him that way. But that is the story of old Crazy Horns himself. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I appreciate you coming, taking the time and listening to it. Please like, comment something if you liked it. If you think I could do something better, if you didn't like it, whatever. I would like to get this thing going. The purpose is to bring people in their mounts to tell the story. The good Lord blessed you with the opportunity to harvest an animal that you considered a trophy. And it would be my pleasure, my honor to sit down and talk to you about it and share your story with the world. So if y'all can spread the word on this and help us make it as big as possible, I sure would appreciate it. I know my wife would too. And just to be sitting across from somebody and be blessed to share that story, I know is amazing. Some people only have one story. Some people have multiple. And if you're in the Micanopy, Gainesville, Ocala, Florida area, Central Florida, and you want to bring your mount in, tell the story, please reach out to us. Let's do it. I got to get back to work. Got some broken horns and a deer that I'm mounting now. Just wanted to take the time out today, tell you about old Crazy Horns. Hope y'all enjoy it. Until the next hunt, y'all keep between the ditches.